All right, so it's been about a year since I've been up here when I put this gutter in. You see the roof is continuing to fall apart. This is roughly where the leak is, the big one. But there's another smaller one over here and so on and so forth. So my task today is to get shingles up here and start doing this. One of the downsides of doing a second layer, it's going to be ugly because this is architectural shingles and it's not going to lay flat like a 3-tab will. But one of the biggest downsides is that unlike seemingly everything else in the house, no one is willing to tell anybody online how to do a second layer properly. I've asked roofers and they're just like, don't do it. But it's an extremely common thing. They just don't want to tell you how to do it. So I'm probably going to do a bunch of this wrong because I can't seem to find any information on how to do it properly. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to throw a second layer of shingles over this. I already have them. So that should stop the leak. And then in a year or two or whatever, when I got the money to completely tear off the roof and replace it from scratch, I will do that. But for now, this gets a temporary fix. It's a really common fix. Second layers are stupid common. This roof only has one layer on it. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm probably gonna fuck it up, and y'all are gonna tell me that I did it wrong, and that's okay. I told you in the very first video I'm going to do stuff wrong, and sometimes I'm going to spend extra money because of it. This is one of the things I'm definitely probably going to do wrong, simply because there's no information on how to do it right. Roofers don't want you to do it, even though they'll do it for money. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to set up the camera. Shingles are down there in the garage. I got to drag them up here and up that ladder. I got to put real shoes on because this roof is slippery everywhere where it's black. And I don't want to take a pressure washer to this roof because it's already leaking in a couple places. So I'll end this talking as the sirens go by. All right, so it gets kind of sketchy trying to move that bundle around up top. Super slippery. I might see if I can find another way of doing this. All right, so I got 3 rows laid out. They're not, obviously, I'm not gonna leave a gap between them. This will come down to about here, and I'm just going to use this guide to get myself a straight line, and that should work out all right. I'm assuming that all these shingles are the same size, so that should work out all right. And then this one will come down like that, and the seams are offset, so nothing will leak into it. So it should look like that. It'll be slightly lumpy, it'll be slightly thick, and then I will come back when I'm done and slice this off so water doesn't roll right off over the gutter. So the next step, you get some nails, and then I can one by one pull the, basically, there's a thing here to protect the goo, so I can pull those off, slap them down, throw some nails through them. I think I should actually read the package. They actually have instructions on them, but I think these get 3 or 4 nails a piece. I believe you nail them here, and then when you do your next one, you end up with a second row of nails in the top. So as you put them here, they wind up in here. So then you end up with actually 6 or 8 nails holding the whole thing in. So I need to grab a bucket of nails, a hammer, and it worked out all right to bring half a bundle up. That was much more manageable. So I'll have to take twice as many trips, but it should be okay. It's super crazy slippery all the way up until about there. And so I think I'm only gonna bring up shingles as I need them instead of just bringing them all up first and then managing them and having to drag unused ones back down. And a couple other things I can do while I'm up here this weekend or over the next week or whatever is I have some sealant to hopefully fix up some of these cracks and make it stop leaking. If you might remember that it leaks in the corner of the room, kind of where that old gas oven was that I broke. And then the other thing I originally bought the sealant for was a vent. That vent, you can kind of see the pipe right there. I need to seal around that because that's that leak that dropped into the pink bathroom where I had to replace the section of the ceiling. That's where it leaks, is right over there. But that's the only leak on that section of the roof, and there's none on the front section. So I just need to do this upper section and we should be okay for several more years. And worst case scenario is if another part starts leaking, I can just do another second row, or if one of those sections, the front section or this section, start leaking, I can just buy some more shingles and get it done. This whole area costs about $350, $400 worth of shingles, so that's not too bad. To do the whole roof on a second layer, nothing special, nothing fancy, would be about $1,700, I think is the math I did. So this isn't too bad. A few $100 get me through next couple of years, and we're set. Hopefully the rest of the roof holds up. So here's the instructions on how to do this. It tells you about all the steps if you're doing a brand new roof. We're not doing a brand new roof. It doesn't say anything about doing a second layer. That's okay. But basically this is the section with the nail patterns. And this is for 4 nails and this is for 6. And it doesn't really specify why you would do either. So I think I got enough nails. I think I'm just gonna fuck it and do 6, just for a good measure. It is interesting though that it has you put them right next to each other. I don't know why that is. Maybe someone can tell me why, but that's what I'm gonna do. So let's get the swinging a little hammer. I can't find my big hammer. I can only find my little hammer. So little hammer it is today. Or I can get out like a 3-pound sledge, but that's overkill. All right, so I'm starting the second row and I've cut this so it goes up and over the existing flashing. And as far as I can tell, this flashing never leaked, so I'm just gonna leave it alone and let it do its thing. It should be fine. I'm not too worried about that. It's not perfect, but it should be okay. But it's going in well, and you can see the overlap here between the two, so it's getting lots of coverage. I did forget on a few of them to pull off the plastic sheet on this first row here, so first mistake. And then this one down here, like half of these nails just went in without any hesitation or any pushback at all. So I just added a whole bunch of extras, and then when I'm done I can just slice off this to make a nice even line. But yeah, just carry on with this. Should be okay-ish. All right, so I'm about halfway done. I'm quite pleased that my waist is only one of these little squares every other row. I'll basically do a row, cut off at the end, take that piece, the leftover, chuck it at the other end, and then do the next row and then cut that piece to fit. That way factory edge is next to factory edge. And then we just end up with this little piece left over. Carrying these bundles up half at a time is working well. That's not too much work, and it gets me off my feet every now and then, or it gets me off my knees every now and then. Just inside talking to the roommate, and I found my big hammer. So this should go better. I've been using the little finishing hammer, and then sometimes the nails don't meet much resistance once they go through the first layer of shingles. And so I think those are soft spots in the wood. And then I just add some extra nails when that's happening. But I have to use, when it does meet resistance, sometimes it's too much for the little hammer. So I've been grabbing that 3-pounder and sinking the nails with that. And it's working well. Just kind of tedious to have 2 hammers. So it's nice to have the proper hammer up here. I'm going to get back to work and see if I can see how much I could do. I don't think I'll be able to work on this tomorrow. And probably not Monday, but I think I could take Tuesday off and finish this on Tuesday. It's gonna be a couple days of rain. We'll see if I created a new leak up there where the new stuff starts. Hopefully not. But definitely should not leak down here where the old stuff is, or where the new stuff is. So, yay. right, so here we are. It's a bit over halfway, maybe close to 2/3 done. I'm tired, my knees are a little bit sore, and my arm is jello. I said it's not that bad, it's really not, but if I were doing this on a super hot day or super cold day, it would suck. It would not be even close to enjoyable. I don't think I'm gonna be able to work on it tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday, but I think I could take Monday or Tuesday off and finish it up. I'm gonna see if I can't tuck the shingles underneath the vent there, underneath the bottom side of it, just like those ones are. Hopefully I can do that without disturbing things too much. And same thing with the vent over there. And then for the ridge cap, I'm gonna use my flat pry bar, see if I can't pry this side up and sneak shingles underneath it. And I don't really have a plan for those shingles down there at the end. I might have to just take the ridge pieces completely off and make new ones, which requires, if you're gonna make them out of from what I understand, if you're gonna make them out of the shingles you're already using, you can't use architectural shingles like this. You have to use 3-tab and cut them into thirds. But if y'all remember from a long time ago, we have a bundle of 3-tab left over from the garage, which was done 3 years ago, about 2 years before I moved in. So I should be able to sacrifice a few of those, just chuck them up here. I don't care if they match. Again, this is all gonna come off in a year or two anyway. All right, so it's the following Tuesday. We're back on the roof. Gonna continue on. This area was really soft. Nails went in really easy, and it was still leaking right around here or so. The original big leak I've been chasing for a year now. So I think the leak is actually in these vents somewhere. So I got new vents. I think I'm just gonna slice these off here and pull them up and leave everything below in place, and then put the new stuff right over top as I do the new shingles. You can see there's some nails down here in the exposed area. You don't believe that should be there. And I still have to figure out what I'm gonna do with the ridge vent. I haven't seen any leaks around this, so I think we're okay there. But I'm gonna continue to do this. We should be hitting these pretty soon, and then I got a grinder so I can cut those off, place the new ones in place, and we'll see how that goes. All right, so I probably did this the wrong way, but let me explain my logic here. This one kind of ended a little bit past here, so I had cut it back to here originally. And then the next piece was just gonna kind of go from about there to there. So I wouldn't be able to nail in this area because it would go through here. And if we moved it over to here, the problem is the same. The other option was to pull it back and start it from here, which would be fine. Again, though, you got nails coming into the flange of this. So what I decided to do was actually cut back that piece and make one solid piece that fits here. And because the flange is still over the piece underneath, I think we're fine. My guess is I need to throw a little bit of sealant on these nails and these ones under here. But I also didn't want to seam on here because then there's nowhere to nail and then it could flop in the wind. So it's probably wrong. Let me know how it's wrong. Don't be a dick about it, but let me know how it's wrong or how it should have been done. But I'm going to continue doing it. I'm going to do the same thing there. Then we should be able to use little pieces here. And as you saw, it's the most waste I've done so far. Several pieces cut, one piece used. But that's what I decided to do for this. So I guess we'll carry on. Explanation of what I did. What I'm looking at is everything here. It looks like the water is going to end up either on top of here in this one, or if it gets under, it'll get underneath here, but it'll still wind up on top of this one. And so I think we're okay there. I do think I need to do a little dab of sealant. My guess is, I don't know, maybe someone can confirm this, but I shouldn't have nailed this layer right underneath here, and then I wouldn't need to seal it. I could be wrong though, but that's my guess. And as I cut out these, I used the square to make sure I got straight lines and also square lines. But the other thing I did is you saw me use the knife on the back side of it. I wasn't cutting. I was actually using the dull side of the knife just to leave a mark so I could have something to work off of. And basically transferring the location of the top of this onto here. And then from there, I could actually cut it out and do what I want. There's a small line scribed on the back side of this, but it's not really cutting it. It's just a little scratch. So now I can continue on with this layer and that layer, and I'll just kind of do them both at the same time as I go down. And then I'll come back this way. I should be able to just notch out these a little bit as I go past, and then cut those out and continue on and make a little more progress here. right, so I've decided to do this set of vents a little bit different. I'm going one shingle up higher before I put the actual vent on to make sure that these nails are covered up by the shingles. My guess is that's what I should have done there. I didn't think about it till afterwards. If I were trying to do a 20-30 year roof, something like that, I would tear this back up and redo it. But since I'll be ecstatic if I get 2 out of this, I'm gonna leave that how it is and I'll carry on with this. And hopefully it doesn't cause me problems. I'll come back with some sealant and you seal up that vent. So I'll pop some on those nails there. And then I'm gonna have to pop the ridge vent off on this side. So I'm gonna have to seal up those nails anyway. And a bunch of them are loose on that end of the house. So I need to deal with those as well. So I might as well just have a fun sealing party, get it done and over with. And hopefully I don't have to touch this roof for a couple years. All right, I'm beat, but got the bulk of this done. I did not nail down the piece underneath this cap here, just because I need to replace those ridge cap shingles. I think I'm probably gonna pop off part of this ridge vent and replace it. I don't know if I should do the whole thing. Like, that doesn't leak. I don't want to disturb it. But this I've already disturbed, so it might be okay to just pull it and replace it. I'll make a decision about that this week. I'll finish up the detail work this weekend. I'll do the goo on the nail heads over here, and I got some to do there. And I'll probably hit that up just in case. I figure once I open up the can, I might as well just use it. And then I got the corners and stuff over there. So I'm pretty happy. I need to trim the end of these so the water doesn't go over the gutter. Other than that, I think I'm done for the day. Get back to this weekend.